looking ahead to the fall, first with the Stevens soccer program, the Stars return the core nucleus that led the squad to last season's first appearance at the AMC Women's Soccer Championship. Anya Castelli's the headliner, but Devin Dowell, Shelby Wessing each had 5 assists. Kaylee Swinford, a returning starting goalkeeper that posted the most wins in a single season in school history. Savannah Johnson, key defenders on the back line. What can you say about those core people, and what do you think the expectations will be for the Stars heading into 2020?
Well, I certainly think the expectations are heightened, right? I mean, Coach Curtis Bordson's done a fantastic job building the program to a spot where they could be in position at the end of the year to go on the run that they did, take 2 out of those last 3, get their golden goal right there at the death, and push into the tournament. So I think that hats off to the effort that those young women put forward last year. And the great part is you get so many returning. I would be really interested in seeing how the interplay of Anya Castelli and Devin Dowell works out up top next season, because let's be clear, you have a great freshman campaign. If you're Castelli, you score all these goals, you're clearly a number 1 on a team. You're not going to take anybody by surprise anymore. And I think that that's an opportunity for Dowell to build on the season that she put forward last year and assert herself and say, hey, you don't just have to worry about one sophomore on this team. There's somebody else who can give you a little bit of trouble up top. And as always, you know, when you're between the pipes and there in the net, you got to look and see what Kaylee Swinford can do, making her next step as well, because so much of soccer can come down to how you perform in your own end and keep it away from high quality chances. So that's what I would look for. Certainly an attack that has grown over the past year, and we'll see how that interplay works up top, but then seeing what you can get in net. And I mean, if the game of soccer is boiled down to that, where you can just limit the scoring opportunities on the other end or make key saves when you need, and then go ahead and put it in the back of the net, I mean, you can see really pushing towards another inclusion in that postseason tournament, which I think would have to be the goal for Coach Bordson and company.
Well, Coach Bordson also became the program's all-time winningest coach last year. And what he tries to stress with his team is once you get into the conference tournament, you're 3 wins away from the national tournament and having the chance to compete for the national championship. And he's been able to use all the positives that you just talked about to help sell to his incoming freshman class, which I believe is a record number of players that are very excited to join the program. What can you say to those people who will be in Columbia for the first time about the excitement they should have for Stevens soccer from what you were able to view last year from a media and coverage standpoint?
Well, I think it's all about the ascendancy story, right? It's the fact that you had an opportunity to get to a postseason tournament, and now you have a taste of it. It's always easier to do the second time around, the third time around, and now you have a stable base. So what Coach Bordson can say to his players are, listen, this is what it took to get to where we were. And yeah, it took some memorable goals. It took some outstanding play. And we won't be able to rely on that necessarily all the time either. We can grow in ways of consistency and in punching up a little bit, knock some others off the top of the table, and drag them out into a fight. I think what the program and the returners have shown is that they're going to be able to give anybody a fight on the right day. And it's just a matter of growing that consistency. And so for a freshman coming into that environment, I think it would be really exciting to say, all right, that's a level that's established. Now, where can we fit in to take that to the next level? And if that's the attitude, you know, you got to think that the sky's the limit on continuing to grow and tier up in the structure of AMC soccer.
Moving on to volleyball, Stevens was the youngest team in the AMC and NAI last year, with all of its players being either freshmen or sophomores and all but 3 being freshmen. The team made gains as the season went along and really seemed to find a grip of how they wanted to play. Most notably, a lot of things going through Mackenzie Domestic Ring on the offensive end. Lauren Vineyard, Megan Reese, Molly and Sophie Thompson also were key contributors to that squad, and all are expected to return for 2020. What do you think is the next step in the progression for that squad?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that Mackenzie Domesic-Rink was used as the hammer, right? She led the team in attacks last season by a pretty wide margin. So maybe finding a number two complement offensively for the outside is going to be a thing that is a challenge for the team. But I think that any good volleyball team runs through its setters, and the setup comes down to a couple of returners, right? So you have Megan Reese and Lauren Vineyard right there and able to take that next step forward if they grow more confident in their abilities and grasp the offensive philosophy and really get that into flow, then you can see some great things from the program. It is a challenge to do, but with experience at the collegiate level, you're only going to build up that confidence. And sometimes you see the leap in a collegiate softball player from freshman year to sophomore year, and then it's all right, we got it there. Or maybe it's from a sophomore year to a junior year, or sometimes even a senior year, you see someone blossom. I think that the main challenge is going to be finding the flow. And when you find that offensively and you can score, then you've at least put the other side on their back foot. And we know that Domesic-Rink has no problem with taking a lion's share of the chances. So if she can be relied upon to do that again, maybe raise that attack percentage and get that kill percentage just a few percentage points higher. I mean, that's the difference between winning one set and maybe losing one set. You do that over the course of time, you find yourself with more wins at the end of the day. So I think that those are the steps that the volleyball program can look forward to taking in the next season to build upon what they already have established.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me on this edition of Speaking with Stars. I hope you, your family, and everyone continue to stay safe, and hopefully we get back on track in the fall and see how everything shapes out for the next winter and spring seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to be here, Nicholas. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Glad that you were able to accommodate some sunshine and alpine air for me. I know that you had no hand in it necessarily, but the fact that you're able to put up with looking at this background, you're a very strong person, and I thank you.